And we're back, folks, right here on WrestleRant, where I, Graham GSM Matthews, every single Tuesday break down all the pay-per-views that I watch on the WWE Network. Since the onset of 2017, I've been breaking down every installment of the In Your House pay-per-view series presented by WWE. So today we're talking In Your House 9 International Incident from July of 1996. So kind of on the shorter side, I mean, all these shows, the best thing about the In Your House pay-per-views, if you weren't a fan back then, you're not aware of them, you've never seen them before, I certainly had never seen, I don't think, any In Your House show in its entirety up until I've been doing this show, which is why I love doing WrestleRant, to rewatch these shows, not only for your own enjoyment, but my own enjoyment as well, kind of brushing up on my history of WWE and wrestling in general. But the best thing about these shows is that they run literally no more than 2 hours. They're about an hour 50, hour 40, and then what I do, I skip over like the filler, the recaps, the promo codes, even sometimes the entrances, and it comes down like an hour 30, hour 20, so these shows are always great to watch, if only for like some nostalgia from the mid-90s, and 96, in my opinion, was a great year for WWE, at least from an in-ring standpoint, before the Attitude Era kicked in 97, 98. But anyway, like I said, this took place in Vancouver, British Columbia in Canada, that county. If I said that correctly, if I didn't, I apologize. But yeah, only 5 matches on the show. It kicked off with a tag team match, the Smoking Guns taking on the Bodydonnas. The whole premise of this matchup was that Sonny had left the Bodydonnas for the Smoking Guns. That was it. No tag titles on the line. We actually had no championships on the line on this entire show, which was interesting. I don't know if that's why the show really wasn't that good on the whole. I know I'm getting ahead of myself here, but that was pretty much it. The match was not really that good at all. They got a bunch of time in almost 13 minutes, and the Bodydonnas won. Sonny was fucking smoking hot, though. No pun intended with the Smoking Guns, but Sonny, it's so sad because she was so fucking hot back then, and then you see what she turned into today. More power to her, but wow, she really let herself go. But anyway, as far as this match goes, it was not good. Yeah, not a good opening match. And Mankind versus Henin or Godwin, the following match did not really pick up the pace either. It was exactly what you would think it would be. I mean, Mankind furthering his feud with The Undertaker by picking up a quick win here over Henry or Godwin. From an in-ring standpoint, this was far from a classic, I'll say that much. Thankfully, Mankind won. That's the only good thing I can say about it. Stone Cold Steve Austin and Mark Merrill, having the best bout of the night, obviously, up to this point in the show. But even that, I mean, it was a good match, but they had a better match at King of the Ring the month prior at the King of the Ring special in June of that year. They had a great match on that show. This was good, just not quite as good. The sequel is not always better. Usually is not better than the original. That was the case here. At least Stone Cold Steve Austin scored the victory, and I've talked about this before, but not amongst everybody. I think more people know this than those that don't, but I feel like there's this general misconception among some people, among some wrestling fans, that once Stone Cold Steve Austin won King of the Ring and he cut the famous Austin 316 promo, that he was on fire, he was a superstar, and he already kind of was. You kind of saw the writing on the wall in terms of where he would go in his career and the great things that he would achieve and accomplish. But it's not like he was immediately inserted into the WWE title picture or feuding with a top-tier talent. I mean, Mark Merrow was a star on the rise as well, but I think at SummerSlam, like that year, like the month after this, despite beating Mark Merrow on this show, Stone Cold Steve Austin would go on to compete in a fucking dark match. What was it called? The fucking, what do they call it? The free-for-all at SummerSlam the following month against Yokozuna. And I don't know, I forgot if he won. I think he lost. I'm not really sure. But it kind of goes to show that it's not like he was, he had the rocket strapped to his back and he was immediately a top-tier star in the matter of months. A top-tier talent within the matter of weeks or months or whatever. It took a little bit longer than I think people remember for Stone Cold Steve Austin to become a top star. He was still kind of a mid-carder at this point because he wasn't even at SummerSlam the following month, despite his victory at King of the Ring 2 months prior. But back to what I was saying, that this was a good match. Stone Cold won. Good stuff. The Undertaker and Goldust, once again, this time not for the Intercontinental Championship. I forgot if Goldust had dropped the belt by this point. I think he did. To Ahmed Johnson, I think at King of the Ring, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he did, the month prior. And they had that whole feud going, but they took time away from that to put Ahmed Johnson. Did I say Ahmed Johnson again? I apologize. To put Ahmed Johnson in the whole main event picture. I'll get to that in a moment. But yeah, they went back to this feud for whatever reason. I have no fucking idea. I have no idea why they didn't just do a rematch. I guess they wanted to fill it. They wanted to do a filler feud, filler match, whatever, for Taker before they went to Mankind and Taker at SummerSlam again, this time in a Boiler Room brawl after their encounter at King of the Ring the month prior, rather. This was not good. Probably even worse than the casket match, to be honest with you, from the previous In Your House 2 months earlier in May of that year of 96. They just did not have good chemistry. Goldust was a great worker when called upon, and Taker can have really good matches as well. The match he had with Mankind at SummerSlam was great. This was just a smoking pile of shit. And again, as I said in my previous review of In Your House 8, Beware of Dog, the part that didn't make sense to me was that they had a casket match to seemingly finish off the feud 2 months earlier. Then on this show, they had a standard singles match, so it's kind of ass-backwards booking. And also, this ended in a DQ. So you would feel this match would happen first, and because Mankind got involved, that's why the match was thrown out and Taker won via DQ, that they would have done this back in May and then done their casket match in July to have Goldust go over in decisive fashion, but they didn't do that. So again, why? I don't really know. If nothing else, though, it did set up Taker and Mankind, as I said, in the aforementioned Boiler Room brawl at SummerSlam the following month. And then we get to the far and away the best thing on the entire show, 6-man tag team action. Very rare you'll hear me praise a 6-man tag team match in the main event of WWE pay-per-view. But for what this was fucking awesome. You had Camp Cornette, you had Vader, Owen Hart, and British Bulldog taking on the team of Psycho Sid, Ahmed Johnson, and Shawn Michaels, who was the then WWE champion. Johnson was the Intercontinental champion. As you probably know, the Ultimate Warrior, was supposed to be on the team of Michaels and Ahmed Johnson. And then they announced on the show he had been suspended for not fulfilling his contractual obligations and appearing at live events. And he was not suspended. He got fucking fired because he was gone after that. He did not come back for the next 18 years until 2014, right before he passed, before he got, right before he got inducted into the Hall of Fame that year, 3 years ago. But Warrior was off the show, but it didn't. I think it might have been for the better, to be honest with you. It might have been for the better just because, it's not like Psycho Sid was that much better than Warrior, but maybe if Warrior was in this match, I don't know if they would have lost. Maybe the baby faces would have won, or Warrior would not have sold knowing Warrior, but this was great. I thought this was a fucking great match. You cannot go wrong with a team of Vader, Owen Hart, and British Bulldog, and then Shawn Michaels on the opposing team. I said in my previous In Your House review, Shawn Michaels really made the year of 1996. What this year would have been for WWE without him, I have no idea, because he had amazing matches up and down the year with Psycho Sid, British Bulldog, you had Diesel, you had Mankind, you had Vader all year round, Bret Hart at WrestleMania. You could not go wrong with a Shawn Michaels match in the main event of a WWE pay-per-view in 1996. So this was great. Again, got fucking 25 minutes. 25 minutes. And it was all entertaining, too, so it didn't feel like it dragged on, or I felt like I was wasting my time by watching it. And in the end, the heels went over in decisive, strong fashion. Vader pinned Michaels. He pinned him. It's not like booking of today where the baby faces went over and Vader attacked him afterwards to set up the match at the subsequent pay-per-view, at the subsequent show. It didn't work like that. This made sense to have Vader pin the champion. It made him look like a fucking beast to set him up as the number one contender to the WWE title at SummerSlam the following month. And of course, he would lose there, go on to do nothing, and his career would fizzle out. I'm a big piece of shit. I'm a big fat piece of shit. But for what this was, I thought this was a great match, and they did a great job. Maybe not after the WWE title program with Michaels, but in building him up as a threat to the title, they did an exceptional job. Not starting with this match, they started a couple months earlier, but this was a great way to continue building him up and continue furthering his momentum heading into SummerSlam of 96. So overall, not that really good of a show. I can't recommend it just based off the main event alone. I will say go out of your way, put aside 30 minutes, a half hour, because the match itself is 25, but they have the post-match stuff and the entrances and whatever, so about 30 in total. Put aside a half hour to watch the main event. Everything else was really not that good. Taker and Goldust fucking sucked. Mankind and Henry O. Godwin was completely forgettable. The opening tag match was very much a disappointment, and then Stone Cold and Miro was good, but they had a better match at King of the Ring, so really, it's a one-match show. I can't recommend you watch the entire show. And even then, you're not going wrong because, like I said earlier, the shows are like 150, 140, 2 hours. And I say 140, I mean an hour and 40 minutes, not a minute and 40 seconds. Obviously, you're not stupid. But so check it out. Check it out on the network. The main event, if only for the main event. In Your House 9 International Incident. So, of course, next week, I think next week is March. I'm recording these so far in advance, as I usually do. I think next week is March 21st. So then the next week after that, we're doing another In Your House. So 2 more In Your Houses, and then my review, my scathing review a year later to give my 2 cents on WrestleMania 32 during WrestleMania week, which I will be in attendance for, so I can't wait for that. But yeah, so stay tuned until next week for my review of In Your House 10. I forgot what the subtitle was. I'm pretty sure it took place in September of 96, though, so stay tuned for that. But in the meantime, and in between time, guys, have a great rest of your week, and of course, be sure to find me on the socials at WrestleRant on the Twitter, on Facebook at Facebook.com. Give the page a thumbs up at Facebook.com/Graham.gsm.Matthews, and right here on the YouTube as well, the YouTube platform, by liking the video, dropping a comment, sharing the video, and subscribing as well for daily content. Going up all the fucking time for new videos literally every single day of the week. So what are you missing out on? You're missing out on a lot. What are you waiting for is what I should say. So like I was saying, guys, enjoy the rest of your week. I'm Graham GSM Matthews, and I'll catch you folks down the road.